Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's All That Jazz. If you're new, we're on the road to 2K, so go ahead and join today by clicking that red subscribe button. And if you're not, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about being a stay-at-home mom, and for the people who are like thinking about being a stay-at-home mom, just like the things that come with it, the joys, the highs, the lows. When I say stay-at-home mom, like some people consider like stay-at-home mom like you don't work at all. Like, you can define stay-at-home mom. Stay-at-home mom means you're home while your husband or significant other is taking care of majority of the finances and you taking care of the home. So basically home management, kid management, educate. Being a stay-at-home mom is very rewarding, very amazing, but it's also has its downside, and that's just like anything. So being a working mom was rewarding, but it also had its downside. So I could talk about like my experience and the difference. Being a mom in itself is a job, and like I said, it's rewarding and then it's also difficult. The American dream is like get married, have your family, and live happily ever after, but nobody talks about like the in-between. Or I think it's just, I don't want this video to come off like negative, but I also don't want it to come off like, oh yeah, it's easy. So I just need y'all to just stay with me. So number one, being a stay-at-home mom, I'm gonna start with the joys. That's what I'm gonna do. Being a stay-at-home mom is amazing because I don't have to any longer worry about our kids being sick. We learned that our kids' asthma is triggered every time that they get sick. So when they would be in daycare, we'd be in and out of urgent care, in and out of the hospital, just always when they were in daycare, because the sickness was just back and forth, especially like there's two of them. We're not battling just like one kid being sick, it's two at one time. The one positive thing is that we don't have to deal with them being sick all the time. One extra other positive thing is now, I don't know if we're gonna go the homeschool route, that's what we're leaning towards, but we'll see where life takes us, is now we can control what they're being exposed to as much as possible, and not in a controlling way, but just like they learn or stuff. So the daycare they did go to, I don't feel like I felt like, oh, they're teaching them crazy stuff, but as time goes on in elementary and middle, what they're trying to teach these kids right now is wild. The agenda they're trying to put on them. So I feel that I'm excited to be able to teach them stuff and then see that difference. Like we like learn numbers, we're learning shapes, we're learning colors. You know, I'm constantly trying to figure out like what activity can we do. If not, we've been focusing on flashcards. Sometimes they'll watch educational stuff, sometimes they don't. It's just, you know, TV. Learning the opposites, big, small. So I always try to sit down at least 3 times out the week. Sometimes we get up into an hour of learning because we're playing and learning, and they also are doing that in speech therapy as well. So geared towards where we want their education to go. Another thing is just being able to just pop up, go to the park. The parks are empty, like it's not a bunch of like 8-year-olds jumping on top of the slides all the time. Sometimes it is, but for the most part, if I go at the right time of the day, like where I could just be like, oh, it's probably another stay-at-home mom or another mom who works from home, you know, and they have like their little kid out there or something like that. So it's freeing to feel like I can take my kids to certain places and it's not gonna be super packed, number one, because it's the middle of the day or afternoon, and more than likely kids are in school or parents are at work. Like I just really love that emptiness, honestly. Like I like when they have socialized with other kids. Like I love that they meet other people and they have fun. But when I can go to the park and it's just kids their age, I'm feeling a lot more relaxed because I don't feel like, oh gosh, like Timmy finna jump on their head and then they gonna fall and crash them, and then I'm gonna have to go beat Timmy up, and then I'm gonna have to go get my kids. Like, you know, it's so much that goes through your mind when you just have these small kids at the park and then these large ones like just climbing over everything. So that's a good thing. I enjoy being able to just take them to the park, go to like a trampoline place sometimes, like once or twice a month. Get to meet up with mom friends throughout the week. You know, I'm meeting new people, honestly, more than I ever have being at home or coming across people in the store, meeting like-minded people and other people who are in similar situations that can relate. I'll probably have a mom day at least once or twice a week, so that's fun to get out and do. The cost of daycare is no longer there, so that's always great. We no longer have to try to figure out how to pay for that. I would say majority of the reward of being a stay-at-home mom is getting to see our kids grow, getting to see them learn and apply certain things, getting to see, you know, their personalities and spending that one-on-one quality time with them and giving them that love that they need literally all day, every day. Now, I ain't saying every day is easy, but we're gonna get to that. Those are my main pros. And just feeling like I'm their safety net right now, as long as I can be. I don't have to be at work like worried, like, okay, is it like everything okay at the school? You know, like I said, the daycare was nice. Like, I didn't really feel that fear or like something would happen at school, but now it's really 100% secure. Like, kids are truly like blossoming and, you know, interacting. They have like these free spirits. They're not worried about like silly stuff. They're not worried about things they shouldn't be worried about as kids because of other kids. It's just a lot of like joy in seeing and knowing that I get to be home with them in this vital time that they're learning and becoming, you know, toddlers, and then eventually what comes after toddler, kids? I don't know, 6, 7, 8, you know, as long as I possibly can, and have these moments with them, because y'all, we were just holding them like this and now they're like running and on their own and eating their own food and having their own opinions and their own personality. They even want to wear their own outfits now. Like, they like, yeah, mom, that twin thing is over now. And you know, so getting to see that when I stand back or I look at the pictures and reminisce, I'm like, man, this is really a blessing. Like, I really couldn't ask for more. I'm super grateful. That is the positive part, right? So if you're a stay-at-home mom, there's nothing that I would never look back and say like I regretted being home with my kids, like, ever. I already know that. And most moms that I come across, they'll always say if they could tell me one thing, the time that they spent with their kids and invested into their kids, they always felt like was worth it. I know that even whatever we're going through, I appreciate this time. Now, that was the beauty of stay-at-home mom, and that's just a little bit. I'm not gonna say that's everything, but that's the majority of how I feel about it. But moving on to the hardness of being a stay-at-home mom, trying to get so much done when you have kids and take care of the kids, still trying to gain a routine. You are home with your kids, you don't want to neglect them and just put them in front of a TV just so you can get things done around the house. But sometimes that tends to be what happens, especially because I'm still working part-time. So during that time, they have to watch TV because that's the only way I'm gonna work. So I had to let that go. Like, all right, Jasmine, they're gonna have some screen time, because there's no way I'm gonna be able to keep them entertained for the 2 hours that they're up out of the 4 that I work, or the 3 hours or whatever it might be. Like, we're on and off, you know, I could give them activities, but they're kids, so they're gonna be like, okay, yeah, mom, like, what's next? But the TV is holding their attention. Look, we gotta do right now. Like, look, if you team no screen, then shout out to you. Something else that is a little bit difficult is, like I said, just trying to manage like cooking and trying to figure out different types of meals, because my kids are like, oh, we're gonna eat this meal for 2 days, but then that's it. Like, one day I made chili or I made chicken. I think I got 2 days max with them, and that's it. And they're gonna be like, okay, what's next? I'm not used to that. That's not how I grew up. I grew up spaghetti Monday through Friday or Monday to Wednesday, and then we'll switch a meal. You know, like, me and my mom was just used, it was just me and her. So we just kind of ate what she cooked and we was cool. Like, I don't remember being like, Mom, this is the 4th day on spaghetti. Like, no, this spaghetti is life right now. But the boys and my husband be like, all right, what's next? He have started to like limit our eating out. I think house management, figuring out like how to make sure that you're still providing the attention and the care to your kids. You know, you still have to cook and clean, and when you're cooking, you know, that's breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I do miss them having lunch at school, because then that just leaves 2 more meals to cook, breakfast and dinner for the most part, except for on the weekend. It really be the meals for me, because to me, if you like cooking, then that's one thing. But if you're really like, it's not really my jam, I do it because we gotta eat somehow, some way. I'm learning to try to make things that are like quick and fast, because I think I was making it harder on myself, because I'll always make these like recipes that had like 40 steps to it, instead of just being like, okay, what can I whip up that's gonna take me maybe 30 minutes to an hour versus a whole 2 hours, because it take 40 minutes to prep and then another hour to cook it. Like, I need something that's gonna go in the oven, I need something that's gonna go in the crock pot, I need something that's going to be quick and smooth, and that I got pretty much down pat in my head. And it's not like, okay, after, make sure you add this and this. No, we don't have time for that with 2 running toddlers. If you're a mom and you're trying to get a job, multitasking has to be added to the resume, because we probably always do that best. So multitasking, cooking, cleaning, regulating like your kids' emotions and trying to stay calm for them, regulating your own emotions, trying to stay calm for yourself, especially when they're fighting or they're not getting along. Set the tone though, like I'll give them that attention. I realize like I'm filling up their cup. 15-20 minutes, mommy's here, mommy's giving y'all this love and this attention, and then after that time frame, I'm like, okay, now mommy's gonna clean the bathroom, or mommy's going to clean the kitchen, or mommy's about to cook. So they understand like, okay, they could choose to play with each other, they could choose to do their own thing, or sometimes I'll have to bring stuff out because I feel like they're like, okay, we've been through these toys 100,000 times, like what's next? Sometimes it's TV, sometimes it's toys, sometimes they just play with each other and make up stuff to do, and I gotta be like, okay boys, like be careful, because they want to flip off the couch, they want to wrestle, they want to fight, they want to play football, and we're just not yet in that space where they could just run wild. And hopefully we can get that soon, to be able to, you know, rent a home so they can just like be themselves, be outside, you know, and just like live their best life. But since we're not, we still have to be mindful of neighbors. And during the daytime, I'm like, it is what it is. Like I'm not letting them just like skateboard across the house or ride their bikes across the house, nothing crazy. But you know, there are going to be times where they're kids, they're going to jump, they're going to play, they're going to laugh, they're going to, you know, and that's just going to be like the reality. We had like an issue with our neighbor, but that's another story for another day. And I just was like, they're kids, like I could do what I can, and they sleep for a majority of the night. Like they sleep through the night majority of the days throughout the week. So outside of that, that's all I got for you, you know, like that's the best I can do. I'll try to take them out the house, you know, stuff like that. Being pregnant is definitely going out less frequent, it getting dark sooner. I'm not gonna be out in the dark by myself alone. So now that winter is here, it does get harder this season, because like by the time they wake up from nap around 3:30, 4:30, you got like 30 minutes to an hour to hurry up and get out before it gets dark, you know, like in Georgia it's getting dark at like 5:30 right now. So I'm like, yeah, I guess we gotta figure out what to do from 5:30 to 9:30ish, which is bedtime. The space is one thing that could be kind of like a challenging factor. The other part, trying to find resources at this age, because they learn by play, not by like sitting down and doing workbooks, which they will do. Another hard thing about stay-at-home mom is like finances. I feel like if you're a stay-at-home mom and it's only one income or like 1.5 income, then it could be a little bit more difficult in that area, just because you don't have 2 full-time incomes. Then it's a sacrifice. Like it's really a sacrifice, because that means that unless the main provider, whether that's the mother, because they're stay-at-home dads too, or the father that's providing all of that, you have to make like a substantial amount for you to be like, oh yeah, you stay at home and like do this and do that. And when I'm on TikTok, when I'm coming across moms in real life that I'm meeting, like these people aren't out here making 6 figures while mom is at home, you know, like as a stay-at-home mom. Like no, these people, like I just met a mom the other day who she was like, yeah, I'm a stay-at-home mom. She left being a teacher. He got home from his job, she was going out doing Amazon Flex at night. You know, I feel like it's come to the point where a lot of people who aren't able to afford daycare and don't necessarily have like grandparents to watch, like I said, we made this decision, but people who are in a different situation in which they don't have anybody to watch or care for their kids, they can't afford daycare, they're just like, we gotta do what we gotta do. They're trying to make it work. It's just harder, you know, like it's just not the same as it was back in the day when daycare was like $800 just for one kid, and now it's like almost basically double that, like, well, at least here in Georgia. I think moms are having to decide, like, do I want to be career boss woman, or do I want to and then there's moms that don't have a choice, of course, but there's moms having to decide, like, do I want to be career boss woman and basically make 6 figures for my child to be able to be in daycare and me to afford to live and provide, whether they're single mom or married, you know, or am I going to choose to stay home and be in this role of mother wife? I will say we don't necessarily have a routine. Like honestly, each day holds something different. That's what I'm trying to work on as a stay-at-home mom, is like in my brain trying to like write things down, what needs to get done for the month, be a little bit more organized. And if I could give any advice for being a stay-at-home mom is definitely a routine. For cleaning, a routine. These are things that I am foreseeing that I need to improve on as well. But definitely a routine for cleaning, a routine for your kids and yourself. Meal planning is definitely necessary, because otherwise you'll get caught up being like, let's just go stop here real quick. Scheduling your cleaning routine and scheduling like what you want to do for your kids for the day, maybe what you want to teach them for the week. That's the part that I'm like, okay, if I could get that together, it'd be a little bit more organized and a little less chaotic. Really good at independent play, and I remember them being babies being like, I can't wait for them to just play by themselves independently, because I was just like, here's one baby, you need me, the other baby, you need me, and it's just like, I just want to breathe a little bit, just a second. And so now, you know, they will play. It's rough and tough, but moving on to discipline, I guess, as a stay-at-home mom is different, because you discipline your kids, you know, the way that you see fit. Every child is different. We don't do whoopings. We will talk to them, like when they're crying. Sometimes I'm able to get them to calm down within that crying time. Sometimes I'm not, and when I'm not, I'll say, okay, you go sit in the room, and when you're ready to come out, we can talk. And or if they're not gonna walk out and I hear them stop crying, I'll go in there and then we'll have a conversation about what just happened, why they shouldn't have done what they did, and I make sure they understand. It's a sacrifice, I think, being a lot, but like I said, now we just get to see so much and understand so much, and now I'm comfortable also because they're still learning how to communicate, and so I would feel most comfortable with them in the hands of like random people if they were full-blown like, yeah mom, like I got, like, you know, but they're still learning that. So I appreciate that while they're in that stage, I'm able to take them to continue to get educated and to continue to improve their communication skills, you know, while also teaching them things. So being a stay-at-home mom, like I said, it's a reward, but parenting is like 24/7 full-blown mode. Like there really is a break when, you know, grandma or grandpa gets them. Mommy mode is like sun up, sun down, and that's whether you're a stay-at-home mom or a working mom. You know, like even if you're working, you don't have them, they're still in your brain. But mommy mode is times 20. Like you just be like, okay, I just want to breathe. Like if I lay down, they'd be like, no, not mommy, lay down. I'd be like, yeah, I just want to breathe a second, like just a little second. Like, can I just like deep breath? And they like, yeah, no, you can't, that's not what we do. Or if I take a shower and my husband's home, they'd be like, no, you cannot take a shower. And I'm like, y'all, I just want a little self-care. Like that's it. I just want a little scrubbed up. Like I just want to feel clean and reset for the night and get ready for the next day. And they, sometimes it depends on their mood. Sometimes they will let me take a shower, but like often, more times than not, they'd be like, no, not mommy shower. Or one of them will literally try to stay in the bathroom. Like, you go ahead, shower. Like, I'm gonna be right here though. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot, I'm telling y'all. But it's rewarding. It's just, you need your breaks and you need your time. If I could, like, another parenting tip is like, you gotta have you time. Otherwise it will feel like you're, like I said, it'll feel like you're filling up everybody's cup, like filling up your husband's cup, filling up your kid's cup, and then like yours is just empty, empty, empty. And then you get to the point where you're like burnt out. I think it's really easy to get burnt out as a stay-at-home mom because you're always going and you're always doing something. I hope that this video kind of made sense. Hope that it was helpful for anybody who is in the stay-at-home mom role and just kind of like, what do I do? What am I doing? What is life? What have I done? What decision did I make? Or what should I do? Thank you so much for watching. If you're still here, make sure you comment below, and you might as well subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.